Welcome back to Animal Crossing New Horizons. I'm dear darling. I shall see what's going on on our lovely island of Fawnhollow today, where we'll be relaxing as we get into the weekend here. Rebecca Black's what's wrong with me? Rebecca Black's infamous words of Friday. It's Friday. I still haven't started the thumbnail art for Okami, which is not great, I would say, seeing as that the episode is meant to come out tomorrow, and I don't have time tomorrow to draw it. So I have this evening, I think, to finish it off. I ended up being a lot busier last evening than I expected, but anyway, hello there everyone. Right now in Fawnhallow at 6:04 p.m. on Friday, November 3rd, 2023. What possibly might happen is that Okami will be delayed till Monday, and you'll get like an episode of, I don't even know what you'll get an episode of, because I don't think I have a backlog. I have a backlog of Okami episodes, which obviously I can't publish without a thumbnail up. So it's possible that I'll record a Goodbye Volcano High, and that will be what happens tomorrow. In fact, I would likely say that is going to be what happens, because I don't know if I'll have time to finish it. Because it theoretically is a bit of a harder, I think, thumbnail art to draw than some of the other ones. It's much more sort of like traditional art style, and very much an art style I've never done before. But I'm going to ballpark it will take me about 3 hours to do, but that's if I work continuously. But I don't know, it could be quite a fun one as well, we'll see. Maybe I'll have like an absolute blast doing it. I've been finding that I don't want to overwork my wrist too much, because I'm like, you know, again, repetitive stress injury, carpal tunnel, that sort of thing is definitely something I don't want to develop. And with the amount of hobbies which use my hand, you know, gaming, drawing, sometimes music, although I'm going to be on, let's be real, not as often, it is a little bit concerning. But yeah. Not to worry. You know what I do need to buy at some point? I actually completely forgot about this. I would like to buy like a good desk chair. Like I always hear about Herman Miller being the best. I don't know. Let's see. Best desk chair. And you put Reddit on, so you try and find people. You trying to find the people who are like ultra hyper focused on what the best desk chairs are. And absolutely know. Herman Miller makes excellent chairs. I mean, Herman Miller I just hear all the time. But you know, but gaming chairs are sort of like a ubiquitous thing, but the thing I hear about them is the gaming chairs aren't actually very good, and I don't really want a game. I don't like the gaming chair aesthetic. I'm going to be perfectly honest. It kind of looks like what I imagine like an arcade chair, like for like a racing game, looks like. Which is, to be fair, if you like that, more power to you. It's not my thing. It's not what I particularly like. I just want a sleek looking office chair or something. Staples Hyken, I don't even know what that is. Embody. I have no idea what these are. These also are probably American brands now I think about it. Herman Miller. Wait, no, let's not put that way. So people love a Herman Miller. Where can I get a Herman Miller in the UK? UK Herman Miller. How expensive are they as well? Oh, they actually just straight up have a shop in the UK. UK headquarters. Only necessary cookies. Let's see. What sort of good chairs do we like? Aeron office chair, Mira 2 butterfly office chair from £1,000. Holy, these are expensive. I mean, to be fair, I do sit in a chair most of the days, so if there's any point to get one, I suppose it should be like these. But oh my word, these expect £2,000. That is expensive. Maybe I don't need a chair that badly. Like what's like a budget Herman Miller? I don't know. Refurbished chair. UK Herman Miller. That's something I'll have to look into afterwards. But you know, a comfortable chair. It's again one of these things which I guess if there's anything which is justified spending like £2,000 on or something, it probably is a good chair, to be honest. It's up there with like bed, you know. Good beds and good mattresses can be very expensive, and people often, you know, shy away from spending a lot on those because, like, you know, it's expensive and you spend a lot of time just sort of sleeping. You don't even really get to interact with it. But if you think about it from a different sort of like in a girl, as I recently learned, in a girl math perspective, you spend like a third of your life sleeping. So, you know, you might as well make sure that it's, one, as comfortable as possible, and two, definitely not going to mess up your back or anything like that. I suppose I'm fortunate enough thus far to have escaped any sort of like spinal problems or posture issues. I'm not going to say I have like the best posture in the world. I think I would be not facetious, but I would be what's the word that starts with F? Fictitious of me to try and pretend so. I have average posture, I would guess. Maybe like slightly below average. I'm sure the remnants of me like being at a desk most of my days probably doesn't have great positive impacts on like my spinal health or my shoulders or whatever. I remember I had physiotherapy at one point and they said like I had like quite a slight slouch or something, and I was like, oh okay, fair enough. Teenage me, slouching or whatnot because I don't know, can't be able to sit up. So now now I try and like focus and make sure my head's being properly supported. That's a big thing, like your head being properly supported by your neck, because your head's actually a lot heavier as I understand it. Again, take everything I say with a pinch of salt. I'm not a physiotherapist. I'm not a biologist. I'm not even remotely like related to like any medical industry. It's just kind of what I've heard on the grapevine. But your head is quite a heavy part of your body, no? And your neck is the part which is like, your neck straight on is actually a really like strong thing to hold stuff up, right? Or at least it's a lot stronger for your neck to be directly upwards with the weight going like through the cylindrical part rather than your neck being like slightly forward or I don't even know if you can go that far backwards, but slightly backwards, and then your head being unsupported, I suppose that way it puts a lot of unnecessary strain on your neck, which in general I would say is a good thing to avoid. So I mean that's the thing, it's like forward head syndrome. It comes to mind, forward head syndrome. I mean, syndrome sounds like a forward head posture. I was going to say like syndrome sounds like the wrong word to use, but I couldn't think of what it is. Forward head posture makes a lot of sense. You can look at these diagrams. It's like, don't have your head forward because that ruins your rectus capitis. Is that what it says? I can't really read it properly. How heavy is your head? Oh, they even have someone here like you. Oh, sorry, I read it wrong. Semi-spinal capitis and a splenius capitis. There's someone looking down at a phone, I suppose, and showing like the negative, I suppose, effects of that muscular thing. Forward head posture test. If your back of the head is not able to touch a wall, you have forward head posture. I mean, I can go against the wall right now, and we can see. Does the back of my head touch a wall? I can rest assured, the back of my head does touch the wall. I feel like sometimes I try and overcompensate with it. Like sometimes I'll stretch out and then I'll sort of like push my head backwards because I'm like, I mean, I only know a forward head posture. I don't know a backwards head posture, I suppose. Probably is a thing. There's a medical term for it. I assume it just probably doesn't have a common name. Which if it doesn't, it should be backwards head posture, I guess. It's one with Shooting Star Island. So if anything, maybe I try and push my head too far backwards to sort of like overcompensate for it. Which I don't really know if that's better or worse. I guess it's probably slightly better because it's a lot harder to push your head too far backwards. I'm not going to say it's not possible. Human beings, we can injure ourselves in the most wildest of ways that you could never even conceive of, I would say. I did not mean to bring out a fishing rod. What was I going to say? So basically the long and short of it is you're not meant to get a gaming chair. I don't know if gaming chairs are necessarily like absolute trash, but I know it's like not worth it for their price or something. I don't even know if I know anyone who has a gaming chair. You might be like, what chair do I have right now? The chair I'm using right now is actually an ex-office chair. Not for me, it's from my mother, from where she used to work, where they like, I don't know, they sometimes like threw stuff out like monitors and like chairs, and then we just took some, and this is one of them, I guess. I'm not really sure. It's probably kind of, it's not like the worst chair in the world. I feel like I don't sit on it properly, because isn't it another thing with desk posture that I read it once, I don't know how true it is, because it seems absurd to me. It's technically you're meant to sort of sit at like a 45 or maybe like 30-degree angle leaning backwards, which feels crazy to me, because then it feels like I'm like, my head is like slightly looking, has to like slightly look down to actually see the monitors, which I don't know, I feel like that puts more strain. That looks like a weird angle for my neck or something to look at the monitors properly. So I don't really know like what, but there's a lot of ergonomic things which come into play, and one thing is also about like if you keep your arms at like a right angle to your body, that's like meant to be where your desk is from a natural resting position. The problem is I can do that, not with this chair. This chair kind of pneumatically, it falls quite a lot, and it does feel comfortable, but the problem is it also means that my chair doesn't tuck under my desk anymore, so I can't really get particularly close to my desk, which I kind of like. So I guess what I need is shorter chair arms, but the shorter chair arms means that they're no longer like at the right 90-degree angle, I suppose, with my body anymore. They'd be too low down, and I'd have to like slouch to actually rest on them. But I also don't rest my hands on the actual... It feels so weird saying chair arm, because armchair is a word, but chair arm is not a word. But the arm of a chair, I don't really rest my hands on it. I don't know if I meant to. I don't really know amazingly good desk ergonomics or anything like that. But that's just something I read once, and then I never looked it up in years following from that. So I just sort of established that as fact in my mind, and now I'm saying it out loud. I'm like, it doesn't seem right. As a strong benefit of these Animal Crossing episodes is me, strong benefit of me just saying literally and discussing whatever's on my mind. One deficit, I don't know what I'm talking about a lot of the time, so I had to preface everything I say with don't take what I say as gospel. But one benefit is I get to check my own like thoughts about things and be like, does that make sense? Does that seem reasonable? I don't know. Let's see. Desk ergonomics. Let's look for some good diagrams. See, I don't know what I read at one time, which was like you're meant to lean like slightly 45 degrees backwards. It must have been some crazy thing, but everything here is just like sit like high up on something. It says back support. The thing is that the way this chair curves, it doesn't really support my back, I suppose, as it should do. I guess I'm meant to sit like this. Like with my back completely against the back of my chair, which I don't do enough. I'm calling myself out here. I don't do that enough. In fact, can I make it like come forward a bit? Something like this. Shoulders relaxed, arm support. 90 degrees despite drawing a much larger than 90-degree angle. So this is my good ergonomics, supposedly. I just need to make sure my back's against it most of the time. But I feel like if I do that, then to try and get closer to my computer monitor again, I sort of like start inching my head forward, which again is not particularly great posture. What I need is something which also has like a headrest. So I'm like, I need to consciously be back of my head against the headrest as well. We have a standing desk here as well. Someone I know absolutely stands by the standing desk, but I don't have a standing desk. Actually, a few of my friends do have like the desks which can convert from standing to sitting. I don't know how often they use it necessarily. It seems like it would be a good thing to have though. The thing is, I have a massive desk, so I would need to have a very big desk which can convert from standing to sitting. And the thing I know about myself is it would have to do it quickly, otherwise I would never use that functionality. Because even the slightest bit of inconvenience or like inefficiency makes me go, I don't want to do this anymore. Like, you will not believe how long it took me to find a good setup for my graphics tablet, with this graphics tablet arm, because unfortunately the way my desk is set up, it's got like the thing around the side, I don't know what it's called, but the lip, I suppose, is not large enough for it to clip on to anything but the front. So it means that the desk, the like stand, I suppose, which comes up where the arm comes off of, needs to be like in front of a desk monitor a lot of the time. I've basically given up on that, and I put the monitor in front of it because I was like, I would never take this out if it was behind the arm. I would just use it as a third monitor. Even now I'm not using it as a third monitor. I don't know why. I don't normally use it as a third monitor when I'm playing things because my microphone's all the way on my left monitor in the first place. So if I have my right monitor and I look to it, then you're not going to hear me properly because I'm no longer talking into the microphone. And with a cardioid microphone, that's like the greatest sin you can have. I don't know. Maybe I should get a standing desk or something. No, I'm going to be honest with myself. I'm not going to use it. I just need to like sit with actual proper good posture. You know, head somewhat back supported, arms supported. Shoulders relaxed, thighs horizontal. I will say, I'm an absolute perpetrator of not doing that. Sometimes I cross my legs all the time. I don't mean in like a sitting in a lotus position. I mean like one leg on top of the other. I sit like that most of the time. I don't know why. It just feels right, you know. I guess I like having my legs sort of like locked in place like this. Height adjustable table posture. This one's like a squatting chair or something. Or like sitting on a unicycle seat. What chair is this? Oh, that's not... Okay, I thought it was part of a chair. But it had like a footrest as well. And I was like, that's crazy. It's not. It really isn't. Absolutely. Bad posture. Good posture. I also... It's another thing as well. But like, I feel like my monitors are too low down when I sit at full height at a computer desk. I'm reasonably tall. I'm like 5'11" or something. So I need to put like stuff underneath my computer monitors to like lift them up so they're like at proper eye level. Because my eye level right now comes to the top of a computer monitor. And the thing I've been doing, which I don't know if it's actually a great idea or not, to try and combat this fact, is actually I tilt my monitor screens slightly upwards. Maybe I should tilt it even more upwards to encourage me to sit up properly. Because that way I can only see the computer monitor properly, like at its proper viewing level, I suppose, while I'm sitting upright. So let's tilt it up a little bit more. Oh, but that's actually too high. Because you know how sometimes you look at a monitor from or a screen from slightly side on, and then the colours don't look quite right because you're not looking at it properly? I'm trying to encourage myself, sit up. And that way, you know, if I lean back a little bit too much, the computer monitor looks a bit darker than it should be. By sitting up like this, I can preserve my posture. But again, back against the back support. That's what it's there for. It's here to support your back. Let it do half of the work, most of the work. It really is something I should drill into myself more often, like having good posture at a desk. Because, like, I mean, as I say, most of my life is either at a desk or in a bed. Well, I don't know if necessarily most, but you know, a reasonable enough proportion that I should be concerned about how like I sleep and how I sit. To be fair, I sleep perfectly normally, just lying on my back. I sleep like I'm a corpse or something. I'm just, you know, if Pokemon sleep is anything to illustrate how I sleep, I just go asleep, then wake up. That's it. Nothing happens in between, apparently. For me, I'm just in the land of Nod, as they say. But that was another thing. It was like sleeping on your side unsupported is not particularly great for your spine, and then sleeping on your front is also not great because of it's like crushing your diaphragm or something. Again, it's something I read somewhere once and was like, okay, I'm just going to put that into practice. And this time I think it's probably a good thing. It's just like sleeping on your back at a reasonable level, a reasonable pillow height. So I just have like my one pillow. If anything, I would almost want no pillows. I don't quite want no pillows because I still want my head. If anything, I want something soft as a mattress partner in my head, but I'm totally fine with like my body just completely horizontal, and I just sleep there just like that. I don't sleep on my side, I don't sleep on my front, I just sleep on my back out. And that's it. I used to actually sleep on my side and front quite a lot, but then I stopped liking sleeping on my front, especially because I felt like it does stifle your breathing a little bit. I don't know if that's all just like in my head or anything, but it's certainly a lot easier, I think, breathing on your back than it is breathing like while lying on your front, especially when you crush your chest. Is not exactly the most pleasant experience neither, but yeah, I don't know, I just sleep on my back all the time. So I don't know, good posture, desk posture, it's important. Don't shirk your duties to be kind to your spine. You deserve it. I don't know what I'm going with. I'm just trying to fill out these last few minutes. Home workstation. Okay, look at all these right angles. This person is perfectly like a S block from Tetris. That's what you want to look like. An S block with like arms coming out of you, I guess. Again, I'm not on ergonomics. Like, I don't know what someone who studies ergonomics is called. Oh well. A physiotherapist? That seems reasonable. Okay. But that is something I need to keep in mind. If I'm going to be sitting down at a chair like this, my back should be supported. You know, I do have a tendency to always sit like at the front of my chair instead of at the back of my chair. I'm not at the edge of my seat. Use the full seat. Anyway, now I'm sitting properly and posturized, and I hope you are as well. I'm going to round this episode up here. So if you have been watching, thank you very much. It's been Animal Crossing New Horizons. I've been Dear Darling. Likes, comments, subscription, shares, greatly appreciated. Socials, Discord down below. Hope we see each other again. But for now, it's our farewell. So until next time, bye-bye for now.